Hello, Lisa Loud here. I'm the CEO of FLUIDEFI. FLUIDEFI is helping you manage your DeFi investments. We provide a dashboard and the ways to manage and watch your investments in DeFi. So we are going to start with the dashboard today. I'm going to show you here. We have the dashboard. I've sorted this by a one-week time window. And right now we are sorting by the total return per period. I'm going to change that to sort by yield from fees. Over the past week, we've seen this much yield from fees in the following pools. And you can see with NCR, this is a pretty high profile pool. It's gone up 22%. Well, if you'd been holding the tokens, you would have gone up 13%. And the yield from fees over the past week has been 11%. That's, pretty amazing. 11% a week. If you multiply that out over 52 weeks, you're looking at over a 500% return annualized. Of course, we don't usually see these types of returns sustain over an entire year, but you can move your capital around using this platform so that you do capture those high returns in different pools. I'm going to click on 24 hours. Now I'm going to show you, this is going to show you the yield from fees over the past 24 hours. All right, so in 24 hours, this pool here, it's on SushiSwap, has gotten a yield from fees of almost 2%. Amazing. The reason for that is that if you look at the pool size here, it's 130,000. So that's the total amount of liquidity that's locked in this pool. The volume over the same period, which is 24 hours, as you can see, has been 1.9 million. So this small amount of capital, 130,000, has generated almost $2 million of transactions. That's why the amount of the fee return is so high, because for every dollar here, you could just divide this by this and see that each dollar is being turned over about 5 times a day. So since you're making it's SushiSwap, so this 0.3% take away the sushi fee, it'll be 0.25%. Every dollar is generating, every time there's a transaction on your money, it's generating 0.25%. Since your money is turning over 5 times a day here, it's going to generate 0.25 times 5, so 1.25% a day. That means your own personal investment, like I'm showing you that the yield from fees here is 1.9. That is a function of this number divided by this number. The larger this number and the smaller this number, the more you will generate in income from your stake in this pool. There's a lot to question about this. Is this a good token? Are we going to see impermanent loss on this? I don't know. I don't know this token very well, but I could go down to this one, Nexo. Nexo is a very well-known token. It's the token for the platform Nexo, which is well regulated. And on Uniswap, it's showing that $100,000 is turning over $2.7 million a day, which is quite amazing. I'm just going to click on the Uniswap button here so we can look at that pool and see if that's accurate. Sometimes it's misleading, but yeah, actually, over the past 24 hours, this pool, which is around 100,000, has generated $5.5 million in transaction volume. So yeah, it's real. This is actually a very beneficial pool. 2.7 million is different because we're just talking about, we're using slightly different metrics on how we calculate this, but still the approximate value is about right. If you take a different 24-hour period, it'd be different. One warning sign though that you might not see, if you look on Uniswap, you can see that this pool has generated 5.5 million over the past 24 hours and $16,000 in fees. But what you don't see is how many transactions was that. If you went down and checked this, you might be able to see how many, you might be able to count the number of transactions, but nowhere in here does it tell you anything about how much of that volume was contained in how many transactions. One benefit from the FLUIDEFI dashboard is that you can see it's 14 transactions. Now that is a very small number of transactions to generate this much of a transaction volume. For example, this one here, 176, was for $2 million. That's even quite low. 269, this is a better ratio where we see 269 transactions that generated $534,000. That's a better ratio, that's more normal. We like to see a lot of transactions generating the volume because otherwise we're looking at some kind of arbitrage, which is the case. In fact, if you go down here and you scroll down, you'll see that there was an arbitrage that happened, 1 million in, 1 million out. So that counts for $2 million of this total volume. And not to get into the technicalities of it, but because this is a small pool, the people who are providing liquidity are not going to see the benefit of that. So there are many factors that is difficult to find in the DeFi world, but we show them in our FLUIDEFI platform. I'm going to show you a couple more things on this dashboard. One is this high volume button. So if I click the high volume filter, it will filter out everything except the liquidity pools that are showing more volume than the pool size over the past 24 hours. So the pool size here is 4.3 million, and the volume over the past 24 hours is 9 million. We like that ratio. We like to have more volume than the pool size. That means that this pool is turning over once per day. So, or more than, in this case, it's twice per day, which means that whatever fee is here, you're going to see that doubled. You see twice as much as the fee that's taken on the pool, because it's turning over twice a day. I can also show you this performance filter. In the performance filter, it's going to show us everything where it's better to hold. It's better to hold a position in the pool than it is to hold the underlying assets. So the total return, if you had held these two tokens, NFT, USDT, for example, you would have received 2.798% of return on the underlying assets. That means they went up almost 3%. On the other hand, if you'd had your assets in the pool, you would generate 2.8%. So this performance button shows you when it's beneficial, which pools are more beneficial to be in than to be out of, just holding underlying assets. Another thing that you can't see on this screen is that we have filters set. So I actually have some filters on this to show to determine how big the pools are. If I only wanted to look at small pools, I could set my filters so I only saw pools that had less than, let's say, $200,000 in them. I could also set my filters so I only show pools where the volume is more than 100,000, which would take this one out. We wouldn't see this one anymore. You can also filter on number of transactions, on the impermanent loss, etc. So this analytics dashboard is meant to be customizable to whatever your trading strategy is. In DeFi, in the first place, it's difficult to find trading strategies because there's no source of information. So we provide this information so you can look at it, you can figure out what your trading strategy is, and then you can execute your trading strategy by applying the filters, by sorting on the items that you want, by using these pre-built filters, which are high volume and performance. I'm just going to show you the other filters that I can adjust. So here are all my user filters. I can filter it out so I only see things that are collateralized by fiat. I only see tokens that are collateralized by crypto or metals. And then I have pool size, the minimum pool size, the maximum pool size, the minimum volume, the maximum volume, impermanent loss, minimum and maximum, the number of swaps, and yield from fees, and then transactions per day. So these are all customizable for whatever you want to do in your trading strategy.